Should we start, Anne?
Yes.
لا معنا؟
Yeah.
يلا بسم الله. Welcome everyone. حياكم الله جميعا. Welcome to our Q&A online event about Excel Gaming Accelerator. Yes. Speaking to you, Faisal Sadrani, the VP of Innovation Platform at Mirak Capital, and the head of Excel by Mirak. With me is Adillah.
Yeah, hello everyone. Thank you so much for joining us. I'm super happy to see all the attendance. Very exciting. I'm Abdullah Sharif. I'm the VP of Investment at Mirak Capital. I manage all investment aspects of the gaming fund, and my colleague here, Faisal, manages the accelerator aspect of the gaming fund. Happy to be with you today and hope to see you on the accelerator.
Inshallah. Thank you so much, Abdullah. Our agenda for today is to get to know more about Excel Gaming Accelerator. Many of you have questions, have inquiries, something unclear, details of the program. All of these will be covered during this event. And to know more about what is the next steps, understand more about the application process, what's the timeline, what's the life cycle of the program as a whole. But to explain more about Excel Gaming Accelerator, at Excel we give you investments, we give you expertise, we link you with strategic partners that help you grow your gaming adventures. Our mission is to help and empower entrepreneurs in the gaming ecosystem and make Saudi the global hub for the gaming. Our vision is to make sustainable gaming companies and startups by helping them monetize, commercialize their games, and build their gaming companies sustainably. Adillah, if you have anything to add?
Yeah, I would love to add that our vision for the ecosystem is to grow it, have it vibrant, and our ultimate goalpost or goal for the accelerator and the fund as a whole is to build local champions, to build companies that can sustain and go the long way and grow and have world-renowned games come out, say, these are from our region. Yeah, hopefully you guys are those horses we bet on.
Hopefully. Thank you so much. You'll take this, Adillah?
Yeah, sure. So when we looked at the Saudi ecosystem, the way we came in to try and kind of fill the gap, we saw that most of what's in the early stage, what we consider like education, upskilling, ideation, and incubation is kind of already pre-filled with existing programs coming from our partners and friends at MCIT and Ignite program. So there are a lot of tremendous work that's been happening the past few years. What we think is needed is for us to come in and plug on top and take it to the next level. So the difference here, or the way we situated or build this fund, is that it's a 10-year fund. We call it a fund, but it's kind of like a 10-year program. The end goal of that 10-year program, as you can see, is to have champions. So where we come in is post kind of ideation and MVP and so on, where our idea is to kind of build companies rather than to build the games themselves, and see the companies go through from the pre-seed, seed, Series A, Series B, and hopefully to above and beyond after that.
Exactly. As Abdullah said, it's important to focus more about the pre-seed and the seed stage of gaming startups that have already an MVP, a vertical slice, and give them the funding needed to launch their games.
So It's important
Yeah.
to mention that the accelerator is comes attached with the fund. The fund is an $82 million gaming dedicated fund. If the accelerator, let's say the patch ends, your engagement with Mirac does not end. We're investors. We're in for the next 10 years to support, double down on winners, and help carry the quality companies to their success, hopefully.
Inshallah, inshallah. To explain more about the accelerator, the accelerator is a 4 batches accelerator. 2 of the batches will be happening in 2025. 2 of them will be happening in 2026. The idea here, if you didn't have the chance to join the first cohort, you have the second, the third, and the fourth. If you are a very early stage startup, it's the time to build a team, to build a company, and apply for the accelerator and join the other batches in the lab. So the journey of the accelerator started with the call for applicants, and that's the stage that we are in right now. Our application is open right now. You can apply through our website, and the QR code will be visible at the end of the slides. After that, the qualification and selection process, then the virtual bootcamp will be starting. The virtual bootcamp will host a larger number of participants. It will be a 2-week virtual bootcamp. After that, a filtration process will be happening to select the startups that will get funding and join the in-person accelerator. After the accelerator, as usual, there's a demo day to showcase all the games and show all the efforts that happened during the program. And at the end, it's not the end, as Abdullah said. We have the post-program support that will last for more than 3 months of continuous mentorship for all participants in the accelerator, and the support that you will get from Mirac's portfolio management team. So it's a 10-year venture. It's not finishing the program and goodbye. No, it's a long relationship.
Yeah, and I would love to add that this is the first batch of 4. So if you do not get accepted to this, or if you're not too early for this batch, it's the program is going to run for the next 2.5 years, 4 batches, familiar hope with better and better quality down the road, and the fund continues for the next 10 years. So there is a lot of time to even start from zero right now to be part of this program.
For the ecosystem opportunities, or the opportunities that you will be getting by joining the accelerator, you will get a structured funding to support your gaming venture and the need for you to build your game. We understand that the gaming startups need funding at the beginning to build their game and to build the team. So that's the great opportunities that you will get. And being a part of Mirac portfolio companies, you will get the chance to get follow-on investments and join the life cycle of the fund, the 10-year life cycle, and build your commercial, valuable, and sustainable company.
Yeah, and I think it's important to mention here that this is not, we do not do project-based financing, or we're not, we do not do what publishers do, which is finance the company and recoup, let's say, a revenue share. That's not our direction. Our direction is an equity financing. So we come in and we hold the same kind of shares that you will hold. We do not recoup any of the revenue. A single success of a game does not matter much to us. The success of the studio as a whole, the success of the company as a whole, is what we're in for. So that's how we kind of situated our financing structure to align our incentives and the company's incentive, as well as the founders, where the success of the company is our success. Let's say the lack of success of the company is also our failure as well. We do not come in and just attach ourselves to a single project and not care about the company and the employees and everything. No, we try to come in as one with the founders.
100% Abdullah. We look for aspiring gaming entrepreneurs and early stage startups to join our 16-week in-person accelerator and get a comprehensive guide to launch the games and beyond. So the most important slide I think everyone is eager to know about is our eligibility criteria to join the accelerator. So for international companies, you have to relocate to Saudi Arabia. For locals, you have to have a CR and a commercial registration CR. And it's the good time now to, if you don't have a CR already, it's a good time to open a CR, join your team together and apply for the accelerator. You must have an MVP, a vertical slice, a prototype of any kind of a playable part of the playable game. You have to have a team ready or a plan to have a team. You have to be proficiency in English with a great market potential for your game, commitment to the full program, and the potential for scalability for your game and startup. So to dig deep more into details about the program phases, as we explained, there is a boot camp, a virtual boot camp for 2 weeks to know more about your startup, to engage with you more, to understand about the Saudi market. We will be having guest speakers speaking about the gaming industry, workshops dedicated to game development, game commercialization, game monetization, how to build your or finish or finalize your MVP, then followed by a 14 weeks in-person accelerator. And the focus here is to build the company and commercialization and go-to-market strategies for your games. The end goal of all of this is to launch and polish your gaming product, making you ready to pitch for investors, for publishers, improve your revenue growth, understanding your audience and building it, and linking you with key partnerships to improve your startup. And the most important thing here is to have a clear monetization strategy. It is the thing that will make or break your startup. So the typical week that will be happening in the 14 weeks in-person accelerator, you will be joined with plenty of expert mentors, internationals that will join the accelerator. So you will be in contact with them and understanding more about their experience, and they will help you build your game, and you'll have one-on-one time with our team and our EIRs and the mentors that will be joining. You will have team huddles to understand about your KPIs and your milestones that you achieved, and to help you more if you have any problems facing you during the accelerator. Story time, you'll be listening to more about our case studies, game founders that succeed in building their gaming ventures. You'll be practicing your pitches and making you ready to impress in the demo day. You'll be working a lot, so we will leave you to work and improve your game, and you'll be joining workshops that will help you in specific topics during the accelerator. So that's it from our end. You can find the QR code to apply for the accelerator. And I think now we are open to your questions. I believe many of you have plenty of questions that we didn't cover. So that's the time for you to ask them.
Thank you, Faisal and Abdullah. We will start answering your questions now. First question is for you, Abdullah. Abdurrahman is asking, what are the minimum and maximum equity percentages for investment, and what factors influence these percentages?
Okay, so for the accelerator, the minimum and maximum kind that we're looking for is between 7 to 10%. As for what factors influence would be kind of the operational performance of the company, as well as us negotiating with you back and forth. But the wiggle room is not big, so I don't think it's I don't think it changes a lot. But just to accommodate special cases, certain cases, we're making it between the 7 and 10%. I hope that answers your question.
All right, to the next question. Mohammed is asking if Mirak will help in relocating from India to Saudi.
Definitely. All the participants, international participants for the accelerator, we will help them establish their company in Saudi Arabia. We have a dedicated team that will start the process from taking your papers from the mother company or the country, and opening all the needed legal documents and bank account in Saudi.
Thank you, Faisal. By the way, we shared the link to register to the type form if the QR code didn't open. We will switch now from the comments to the Q&A section. Someone is asking, what are the minimum requirements for applying?
I'll say the minimum requirement.
Yeah.
Go ahead. Yeah.
Go ahead, Abdullah. Go ahead.
So the main requirement would be I'll say apply if you just have an MVP, apply, and we'll go through your application as you fill it through, and from there we'll make a decision.
Okay. Next question is, can we know how much is the funding, and depending on what? Pre-seed stage or what?
What's the question? Can we what?
Can we know how much is the fund?
Yeah. So for the accelerator check, it's $300,000, $150,000 in cash, and $150,000 in kind services. So that's for the accelerator check. For after the accelerator, successful companies can, or let's say, if you hit your milestones, your production goals, you can come in and ask for, let's say, $300,000, $400,000, $500,000 extra to push forward, and we're always happy to see if we can strike a deal. It's not just 150,000 and that's it. No, that's the initial ticket that we do. So in funds, the investment usually is you cut an initial ticket and then you start doubling down on performing companies. If you're hitting your milestones, you need, let's say, some funding. We'll manage the first requirement. The second time you need, we'll take you to the market. We'll add some money, and the rest of the market will put the rest, and so on until hopefully you're standing on your own, successful.
Hope that answered your question. Someone is asking, is there a grant or equity funding for the accepted startups? I believe we already answered that question, but if Faisal or Abdullah have anything to add?
Yeah, this is not a grant. This is all equity investments. And by equity, we mean if it's not clear, we end up owning, let's say, 10% of your company. If you own 90%, we'll own 10%. This keeps us invested. If you succeed and hit your milestones down the road and require more investments, we can come in and double down because we are investors and we are also invested.
Okay, so next question is, with functioning publishers looking to scale or acquire other studios and publishers and micro publishers that are economically sound currently viable to achieve an investment?
I would say through the accelerator, that's going to be tough. And generally, investing in publishers, if the way you're running the company depends heavily on your personal connections or on, let's say, your singular person, then that puts us in a risk profile that will require heavy discussion. But if you're a publisher with some kind of proprietary technology, some kind of tools, some kind of, let's say, platform that accesses things that are proprietary, puts you in a position where you have competitive advantage, then that's a better position. But all in all, we're willing to look at everyone and see if we can work with anyone.
Inshallah. Okay, so another question is, will there be any focus on video game law during the accelerator or legal support and legal considerations for the operations of the studios?
Definitely. During the in-person accelerator, there will be a specific weeks that focuses on legal aspects of the gaming industry and IP. We will guide you and help you register your companies, as I said, if you are international and if you are local, making you compliant to Saudi commerce law, and register any IP needed for your game.
So another question is, do you support PC or console-based studios as well?
Yes, we're very much platform agnostic. We'll look at everything and we'll see. What matters to us when it comes to PC and console is your strategy as a whole studio, rather than your company, or let's say rather than your project or your game alone. So if we see that you have a strategy that makes sense, that you've thought it through, that you have the right mindset and ideas around, that we think you can build a company around for the next 5, 6, 7, 10 years, then yeah, we're always happy to make the investment. So in short, there is no reason for us not to invest in PC focused startups.
Amazing. So Hamza is asking if there are any differences between the first batch and the others.
In a nutshell, no. Both of them will be, for the accelerator will be the same, focusing on commercialization, monetization, building the company, not building the game. We said it a lot here because it's really important to understand that this accelerator will help you build the company. It will not be focusing on game development. You should have already an MVP ready. And you have the technical knowledge to improve your game. Having said that, we will not leave you alone. We have mentors that specifically coming to help you with the technical knowledge or technical gaps that you will have. But the main focus will be in commercialization, monetization, marketing, distribution, legal, IP, hiring team, firing team, all of these kind of activities that is important for any startup and specifically for gaming.
Someone is asking, they already applied, but they're asking if they can make any adjustment.
Sure, you can reach out to us at gaming@mirac.capital, or you can apply again and we'll definitely take care of that.
Okay. So Hassan is asking, do they need to relocate before applying to the accelerator, or can they relocate the company after selection?
So the relocation process started after selecting. So we will reach out to you if you're selected to join the accelerator and get investments. And our team will help you kick off the process. So after.
Okay, we are still getting questions about the criteria. So if you would like us to repeat them again, just
Sure.
hit the thumbs up. We can go back to it.
Sure. You want to take Abdullah again?
Sure. For us, if you're a game development company or publishing company, no matter what the let's say the platform that you're targeting, and you have an MVP. Actually, if you have, even if you don't have an MVP, apply. If most likely if you have an MVP, you're on the side where you're most likely to be accepted. If you don't, we'll keep you in our database so we can know when you apply the next cohort.
Batches.
For now, if you have an MVP, apply and we'll talk.
Sure.
You. So someone is asking if the company can be in Jeddah.
Yeah. The company has to be in Saudi, and Saudi is a massive, massive country. So wherever you want to be, we're more than happy.
Sure. But to Abdullah's point, you have to be in person during the 14 weeks accelerator. So some of the founding team has to be located in Riyadh during the in-person phase.
Awesome program, and I hope you guys produce a lot of unicorns. And then they're asking, when is the H1 2025 starting? So I think they believe the first batch.
Sure. So the first batch will be starting mid-March. So the bootcamp will be starting mid-March. And the accelerator will be starting end of April.
Okay. Another question asking about the down payments to relocate in Riyadh. Are there going to be any down payments?
For international companies relocating, that is something that we can discuss together. If you're in, we'll definitely not gonna leave you high and dry. And for us, when it comes to relocation, it's a long time frame for you to do the relocation. And at the same time, we'll have our own partners, as Faisal said, our own companies that will practically do what we call, and you're better at describing this, Faisal, soft landing, if you can just explain to people.
Sure. So we will help you in the soft landing process. The soft landing process is from having the idea of relocation until opening a bank account, having the valid visas to be in Saudi Arabia, and having all the commercial papers and registration needed for your company. So for all the international companies, we will take care of the process if you are part of the accelerator, but you will have to pay some government fees that is ranging from 3,000 K USD in total.
Amazing. So someone is asking about the registration duration for gaming entities in Saudi.
So the application process will be ending in 16th of February. So you have more than 2 weeks now to apply. After that, we will start the selection process for the bootcamp.
I think, if I'm not mistaken, he's asking about the registration of the company as an entity in Saudi.
Yes.
It takes. So the company does not take much to be registered, and with our partners, it's going to take even less time. But there are other aspects to it. So we want to get you the entrepreneur license as well, which opens up a lot of or makes your life easier. As for the timeline that we will ask you to do the relocation by, it's between like 6 to 12 months to do the relocation, even though we have our partners and have everyone. So it shouldn't be it shouldn't be something that worries you at all. The legalities and just like logistics should not be something that worries you at all.
Yes. Is it required to attend mentor talks and sessions? If so, what is the expected time commitment per week? They are asking because they would like to focus on building.
Sure. So we understand the need of the game development part and applying the learning that you have gained from visiting mentors and EIRs. Many of the days of the week will be focused on workshops and applying the knowledge that you get. So we understand this part and we design the program to that aspect.
Yeah, and I would like to add to this that the mandatory aspect is the aspect that's probably not the most fun that you want to do, but it's the most critical for your survivability. I know it's a lot probably easier and more fun to just fire up Unity and Visual Studio and just run through the nights on C#, but that builds products. You need to build a company. You need to be long, to live long, to grow, to succeed. For your effort and endeavor to be worthwhile, rather than you spending 6, 7 years or 8 years and not have much. Companies sustain and grow, and you can reap the reward. Alone, technical products are difficult to do so with. So that's why we kind of focus on that aspect. And that's why we think it's mandatory, because it's not something like, as an engineer, it's not something that will come to me intuitively to say, yeah, I want to learn how to manage the finances of a company. That sounds like the most boring thing ever. But it's the thing that helps you survive.
Thank you. Is there any kind of support marketing-wise?
Sure. As I explained for the legal part for the previous question, there will be many weeks focusing on marketing, publishing, distributing your game, and getting support from our partners and from expert mentors that have done it before in all platforms.
Yeah, and we're working diligently, and we have already like a strong list of partners in publishing and infrastructure and so on that will provide you with subsidized, cheap, or at least give you priority when it comes to access to their services. And you will have access, and we're building this list of partners for the next 10 years, and you will have access to these partners for the next 10 years.
Hope that answered your question. Someone is asking if they can choose which batch to apply for.
So basically, if you apply now, you'll be considered for the first batch until the 16th of February. After 16th of February, you'll be considered for the second batch, and so on. I hope that's answered your question. If you have any preferences, you can reach out to us at gaming@mirac.capital or at info@excelbymirac.com.
So they are also asking about the progress. How is it going to be evaluated? And what happens if we do not meet the milestones?
So we will make sure that all startups reach their milestones. At the beginning of the program, we will set the milestones logically and meeting them will be, inshallah, easier. If you didn't make your milestone, so we didn't do our job well, either by not setting the right milestones or not following up with you to set to get the milestone.
And as for the milestones with which you get the follow-on investment or the second, the third investments, we don't set performance milestones most of the time. We set production milestones. So we'll tell you, okay, how much time do you need to produce a game? You're like, okay, it takes me 6 months. Okay, here's in 6 months you produce a game. Come back and let's talk about the funding round. And in case for the follow-on investment, in case you don't hit your milestones, then what will happen is we'll have to reevaluate our interest in the company and if we want to invest again or no. That's what happens. As if you have any fear of liability, then you don't have any fear of liability. Yeah, that's it.
Okay, so Ali is asking, what do you mean by 10 years continuous support
So
regarding investment?
So Excel here is running the accelerator program. The one making the investment and owning the shares in the company is the fund. And the fund is 10 years. So let's say we put 150 or $300,000 right now. And in 8 months, you can be like, okay, I reached, let's say, beta. I need somebody to kind of scale it a little bit further and then go to a publisher and so on. This is where you'll come and talk to me as the fund management team, not Excel team, where we will look at the opportunity that we can invest again with the company and take it forward. So we could invest the first year and we could invest the second year and the third and the fourth and the fifth. So we could end up carrying the company through a lot of, let's say, many years. And for the 10 years is that you will always have our portfolio team available. You will always have access to our partners. Should you scale, we know how to manage that. We've seen companies that are, we've invested in companies that are 4 people and now that are at 150, 200 people. We've seen companies that are doing nothing and now gonna list publicly in the stock market. So we know how to manage the whole cycle. We know how to, you're gonna face a lot of problems. You're gonna come back and say, I have an issue with culture, the previous hires, the new hires, I need good CFO. This is where we'll come in and be like, okay, we'll take the interviews with you. We'll help you build the team. Well, all that. So that aspect is where the 10 years come in, because we're shareholders. We're not investing in the game. We're investors in the company itself.
Danny is asking, how do we contact Mirak to discuss more regarding the accelerator? And please allow me to answer this question. You will find all our informations and social media accounts on the screen. So reach out to us via email. Another question from Abdullah, and it's a really good question. He's asking, if we assume that most studios do not have profits, as they are mostly new, how do you evaluate companies for investment?
I'll say leave that to us, but I'll give you like a glimpse in how we do that. It's not about profits. I will never come to you and say, hey, I need to see profits for me to invest. Our timeline is 10 years. We look at the your potential. What are the probability that you can build something that will end up being profitable in 7 years? That's the way we look at it. So from our perspective, if you come at me saying, let's say I'm building just simple Mario clones like platformers, I'm like, okay, the market is pretty saturated. What do you have for it? What other like unique aspects that will make this a company? This is the way we evaluate it. So the market that you're going towards, the direction that you're after, and we just gauge the probability of you doing something. So we will assess your capability of production, your track record, the market that you're after, the coherence of your strategy, and your capital efficiency. These aspects kind of give us a direction of if we should bet or if we shouldn't.
Another question, does the whole team need to be on site? Because my team members are from different cities.
So all the founding team or the founders have to be in person in the accelerator, with very small exceptions that we will do if you have special requirements that cannot meet our minimum requirement of attendance.
I'm sorry, I'm having an issue with my screen, so if you give me
Sure.
1 second. Okay. When is the deadline for applying? And we already answered that question, but
16th of February, inshallah, for the first batch.
so we will keep the Q&A session for 5 more minutes, and then we will be closing the session.
Sure.
So if you have any more questions. Someone, Mohammed is asking how many co-founders?
How many co-founders? We don't really, in terms of investment, we don't really dictate how many co-founders you have. But as a general rule of thumb, just taking from like the history of success of startups, one co-founder rarely succeed. 2 are good, 3 is perfect, 4 is a crowd, and afterwards is just, just more crowd.
Chaos.
Yes.
Mustafa is asking if you are considering esports, if they can apply.
So esports is not part of the accelerator currently. It's mainly on the content aspect of the investment, which is game developers and game publishers.
If we didn't see your question, please send it again if we didn't answer your question. Okay. What's the duration of the accelerator from start to demo day?
It will be 16-week accelerator. 2 weeks bootcamp and 14 weeks in person.
Should we check the comment section for questions, or are you all adding your questions to the Q&A? Yahya is asking, Abdulillah, you have mentioned 150K as cash, and he's asking about the other 150K.
Yeah, so it's $300,000, $150,000 is the cash, 150 is what we call in-kind investment, which is an exchange for all the services rendered by the accelerator and the accelerator partners and the contracted entities for the duration of the accelerator and afterwards. That's it.
So Lara is asking for international companies. Do they still have enough time to apply for the first cohort, considering the amount of time it takes to set up a company in Saudi?
Definitely. In mid-March, the bootcamp will be starting. So the bootcamp will be virtual bootcamp. After the end of it, we will be selecting the participants for the accelerator. During between the bootcamp and the accelerator, there will be a gap for all international companies to relocate. And you can join us for a visit visa for a temporary solution until we finalize all the process needed for you to set up the company.
Amazing. So we have two questions. One of them, they're asking if they were in another accelerator, can they still apply to Mirac or Excel Gaming Accelerator?
Sure, if they meet all of our eligibility criteria and they can join us in the in-person phase, definitely.
Can someone be a co-founder in more than one startup and still apply?
I would say, yeah.
Yeah, you can, like from a legal perspective, but it will, from like an investment perspective, it will be marked at that's a downgrade because you have multiple companies and you know, exactly. So it lowers like your acceptance score, quote unquote, if there was such a thing.
Majid is asking if they are interested in the direct investment option, how can they apply for that?
You can apply through the application, and we'll have you in our database, or you can reach out to gaming@mirac.capital.
Amazing. So we will answer two more questions. For non-Saudi nationals who have a studio, do we need to have a CR to join the accelerator?
If you're an international company, no. We will help you establish the company here in Saudi, even if you are located in Riyadh or in Saudi Arabia.
But just a point. So if you're applying for us to transfer the money, we have to transfer the money into a company's bank account. So if you're just like a team of people and you don't have anything as a legal structure, then there is nothing for us to invest in. Like we cannot write the legal agreement with who are we writing the legal agreement, what shares are we buying, whom are we giving the money, something like that. So you kind of have to have a legal structure, which is a company either in your country or in our country or somewhere that makes sense.
Amazing. So if you have another question, we will take one more.
Sure.
Okay, we got one question from Harold. I don't really get your question, but it says game tools, not a game. Is this good for you too? The tool will be uses and be part of many games.
Yeah, reach out to gaming@mirac.capital for non-content investments.
Okay, so okay, do we have time for one more question?
I do. I don't know
Okay.
about.
Yeah, I think so.
What is the MVP for the publishers?
That's something for you to figure out.
Basically, you have to show us something.
Okay, so yeah, sorry, go ahead, Abdullah.
That's why we're more focused on game developers, and when it comes to publishers, it's the publishers that would utilize certain tools that aren't just publishers in the sense of service companies. That's where we're calling them publishers.
Thank you so much, everyone, for attending. I will leave the floor to you, Faisal and Abdullah, to close, and if you have anything else to say.
Sure. Thank you so much, Ahad, for supporting in this session. Thank you, everyone, for attending. It was a really great session. We had a lovely crowd, a huge number. Wallah, I was surprised with the amount of questions that we received and the variety of it. We enjoyed really answering your question. Abdullah, if you have any closing remarks, and we can close the session.
Yeah, this was wonderful. Thank you so much,
Yep.
guys. Thank you for questions. And if you still have any lingering questions, reach out to our contact info, and hopefully we'll get back to you.
Thank you so much, everyone.
Thank
Have a
you.
lovely
Take
day.
care, everyone. Bye.